We saw there began initially as a vigil for Jordan Neely, killed not too many days ago, and eventually became a protest. There was some clashing with police that the police definitely didn't instigate in any way. They would never do that. And multiple people were arrested as a result of it. So you had a good number of people who were, trying to make their position clear when it comes to what they see as the massive injustice in the killing of Jordan Neely. You can see the people were injured. This photograph right here, someone looks pretty badly injured right there. And we also have Mayor Eric Adams defending the cops, answering a question about his communications with the family of Jordan Neely. Take a look at this.
Mayor Adams, I wanted to ask you if you've spoken to or plan to speak to Jordan Neely's family. I know they put out a statement asking you to talk to them, and I wanted to get your take if you plan to speak to them or if you have already.
Reached out to them several times to give them my condolences. Many people missed in this whole thing. My son's name is Jordan.
Sir, I also wanted to get you, police were arresting journalists and other people out protesting Jordan Neely's killing. I don't know if you had a comment on that or wanted to.
What was found at the scene was a Molotov cocktail. What were they planning on doing with it? Agitators that come from outside our city with Molotov cocktails, we should all be concerned about that.
Even credentialed journalists who were arrested? And when did you speak to the Neely family?
I said I reached out to them several times. We're unable to reach them, yes.
Okay, great questions by Katie in that video. The deflections that he attempted to use. My son's name is Jordan. Oh, well, in that case, no further questions, I suppose. The fact that journalists were arrested at that protest, well, it doesn't matter. That's not a concern. Why would you even turn around and face a journalist asking a question like that? After all, as you pointed out, there was a Molotov cocktail that was found. Look, I'll even mentally engage with the idea that someone involved in the protest had actually brought it. You'll notice that he immediately turned to people bringing Molotov cocktails. And what were they planning to do with it? He doesn't mean the person who brought it. He means everyone at the vigil, everyone at the protest, the reporters that were there. You can safely ignore all of them. They're irrelevant. Their perspective does not matter because someone had a Molotov cocktail that thankfully was not used. Aida, what do you think about this?
I mean, I'm in awe. My mouth dropped because I hadn't seen that video. When he said, my son's name is Jordan, you mean your son who's alive? His name is Jordan, and there are a lot of Jordans out there. But this thing right here that we see from these public officials that we employ, we have to use the right language when we talk about them because they actually talk like they are our leaders. They talk like they are kings. We employ these people. These are public servants, and they no longer have a spirit of humility, of gratitude when it comes to their constituents, nor do they have any compassion or care. We already know that this attitude towards the press that really got heightened during the Trump era has become volatile towards journalists. But the fundamental reality of the loss of life, Jordan Neely was lynched in public by a person who took it upon themselves to take this man's life. Now people are protesting because they realize how close to home that is. We talked about guns in the last segment, but there are people who are just taking people's lives because our lives really don't seem to matter to anybody. And when you talk about Black people who've been fighting for the value of their lives since they were abducted and brought to this country, it is, this man was smiling when they put the cameras in his face. That's a political theater that we are now so used to. The fact that he's like, let me put on my best face for the camera. This is my good side. And let me make sure that I answer these questions. It is just, I feel bad for us as people of color because when we see people who look like us and we assume that they are on our team, we have to employ our logic to realize that they are not. And when you see this foolishness and this Molotov cocktail that one person brought, the audacity of an American to be violent against one of the most violent institutions in this country, it is just appalling that anybody would retaliate. I asked for directions in New York from a cop, and he was so aggressive and volatile towards me that another cop stepped in and was like, yo, man, relax. She's just asking you for directions. I do not ask, or nor do I engage with NYPD. So it's just so, it feels like we're in the upside down. And those of us who have a little bit of logic left because we have to fight for it, it feels like, oh my goodness, you can't even have a conversation with certain people because people are fully indoctrinated. The education system in this country is trash. And the average person is too busy trying to survive to understand how the law works, that these people work for them. It's so sad. It's so sad what's happening. And unfortunately, the poor Black and brown people suffer the most. And as many people try to divide us, the reality is that we don't find solidarity, we'll never have a solution because the government has never done anything for us. It has always been the people who have had to force the hand of change.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
Well, I mean, he said that his kid's name was Jordan. He did that. I guess that's something. That was, you know what that was? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. That was him trying to do the Obama thing of, if I had a son. Was that Obama? Is it if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin? I think I'm probably getting every detail of that wrong. The difference there was that Obama appeared to actually care.
Yeah.
And like was trying to show empathy rather than just end a conversation. Yeah. No. Someone in the chat said, so if it was your Jordan, would you give a damn? Because it doesn't seem like you do right now. Like, could you care as much about the person being choked out as you care about the Molotov cocktail that wasn't thrown? And people are saying it wasn't even a Molotov cocktail. I don't even know. I'm even saying even if it was, they care so much more about that. And by the way, don't bring in a Molotov cocktail because look at how easily they use it to try to disregard what everyone actually feels. But I want to jump to. Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm just saying. Yeah, well, look, you talked about how little people care about Black and brown lives being lost. Here's a hypothetical: which would be worse, if they just came out and just admitted it that they don't care, or if they continue to do what they do virtually every time and what they're doing in this case, which is no, it's not that we don't care about him, it's that. Did you know that he was bad in the past? Did you know that he did bad things? Did you know that he said bad things? And do you know that right now that justifies him being killed? That is what everyone on that side is saying. Some more explicitly than others, but the family attorneys for the Neely family pointed out the truth is he, the former Marine who did this, knew nothing about Jordan's history when he intentionally wrapped his arms around Jordan's neck and squeezed and kept squeezing. He never attempted to help him at all. In short, his actions on the train and now his words show why he needs to be in prison. But even less knowing is all of the people saying, oh, well, it's the same thing they did in Kenosha. If after the fact you were bad, then in the moment, people who don't know anything about that are justified in killing you, which is not how morality works. It's not how causality works. It's not how time works. But for them, it is all it takes, Ida, to be like, oh, good, I have an excuse now. I don't give a damn about Jordan Neely, and I never would. But now I feel better about not caring. I'm an elevated intellectual, moral being and not caring about the fact that he had the life choked out of him.
Yeah, and the fact that it's funny because when it comes to these white men who are shooting up churches and schools, they have mental illness. But when the Black victims are murdered and lynched, but they have a violent past. And it's the double standard. And quite honestly, John, it's exhausting. I'm tired of having this conversation. We've been having this conversation for hundreds of years now. The lady who accused Emmett Till just died without ever being in trouble for doing that. So I think at this point, I just think we need to start having conversations about solutions, and those should be community conversations that don't even involve those people, because those people don't give a damn about us. They never have and they never will. We have to care about ourselves, and we have to be the ones to initiate change.
I agree. Thank you to everybody who participated in the vigil, in the protest. You, especially in that area, never know what's gonna happen to you as a result of that, so I do appreciate it.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.